Basta all hits, all Pinoy. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. 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 V81 Radio, V81 Radio.
This is V81 Radio Worldwide. Almighty God, grant us the courage of Jesus Christ, your Son, to face the coronavirus pandemic with trust, strength, compassion, and resiliency. Give us the grace of the Holy Spirit to free us from fear and anxiety so we may do actions of help and support and look forward to our healing with hope. We pray for the health workers, food liners, maintenance cleaners, logistics abler, government leaders, and volunteers who continuously come together to deliver our daily needs to survive. Guide us from this time of crisis. Preserve us in peace. Protect the weak and vulnerable and those who serve the society during this pandemic. This we ask and pray in Jesus' name, our Savior. Amen. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kantang tatak Pinoy. Kahit nasan ka man, kami ay mapapakinggan. Streaming worldwide, the future of radio in Manila, California, and Hong Kong. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin.
V81 Radio, V81
How have social enterprises been contributing to society, especially during COVID-19? Engage yourselves in this one-of-a-kind Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions with founders and owners of social enterprises such as Mr. Panya Bunsiridu, founder of City Hub Dormitories, Miss Gina Valdez, Managing Director of Numbers That Matter Incorporated, Mr. Dexter Yu, Management Team Member of Roots Collective, and Mr. Rafael Dionisio, Co-Founder of Mad Travel. Moderating this forum and curating the question and answer portion is educator and social enterprise advocate herself, Dorilyn V. Di Maunahan. Sit back, relax with your cup of coffee, and be inspired by their stories.
Hi, good morning everyone. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin worldwide. Again, my name is Darlene V. Di Maunahan and I will be moderating the show. Before anything else, I'd like to thank everyone who decided to join our Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions today. I know that we are in a difficult phase right now, plus there's a typhoon, and please know that our prayers are with the entire country. Today, we would like to inspire you with stories of social enterprises who are not just making a difference in the community, but also giving back during the ECQ. We hope to give you so much inspiration after this event. To give you a little background, Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions was supposed to be a face-to-face get-together, but because of the ECQ, it turned into this online Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions, which we are having today. What's unique about this event is that although everyone here is a social enterprise who will share their stories, they will be focusing on key aspects such as social, environmental, cultural, compliance, collaborative, and sustainability aspects. In social enterprise terms, they are known as the new gens. Before we begin, here's a short clip for you.
I am the managing director of Grameen Bank. The way I can describe myself, I end up doing something which I never intended to do. I never intended to be a banker. I never intended to get involved with lending money to people. But that's what I do now. I used to teach economics in one of the universities in the United States, Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And Bangladesh became independent in 1971 after a lot of bloodshed, a lot of devastation. So when it became independent, I resigned from my job at the university and I went back to Bangladesh. And I started teaching in one of the universities in Bangladesh. And there I wanted to see how I can be of some help to my country. And then in 1974, we were faced with a famine. People were dying of hunger. And there I am teaching the elegant theories of economics in the classroom while this famine is raging all over the country. So I wanted to be with the people, see if there is anything I can do. And in the process, I created what is known as microcredit. And then I went up to creating an institution which is known as Grameen Bank. It's because I wanted to find a solution to a problem.
So it's becoming very fashionable nowadays to launch a social enterprise. So what is a social enterprise? If you're just a company providing minimum wage jobs, that's not a social enterprise. A social enterprise is something that's going to actually bring people out of poverty. And if you want to genuinely be a social enterprise, you have to keep that in mind from day one. How are you going to bring people out of poverty? So day one of human nature, we already decided we would not pay minimum wage because we knew that it was not enough. So social enterprise is the key to transforming the Philippines. If we want to build the middle class in the Philippines, we're going to have to move all the people who are poor today up to the middle class. How are we going to do it? It's only in the workplace. You cannot make someone unpoor out there just in their community. You need to get them into a job that's well paying, that gives them good benefits, that maximizes their skills, that trains them, that's willing not to give up on those people just because they were born poor, but that the employers will love them enough to train them, improve what they do, make those people world class, and then you can finally have a company which is world class too.
A social enterprise, like a traditional business, uses business principles in order to gain financial profits. But more than that, they also help solve a social, environmental, or cultural problem. For me, a good social entrepreneur has, number one, a strong burden to help solve a problem in society, because that provides them the passion and the grit to continue what they're doing. Mori Notes is a social enterprise that creates innovative storage solutions, and we provide women work that they enjoy doing, work from home opportunities, and work that is meaningful.
We believe that this year is the beginning of a new kind of world. Indeed, now is the best time to be a Filipino. I'm blessed to be working with an organization which aims to achieve progress for all with no one left behind. It is possible to build a business that is not concerned with maximizing profit, but rather optimizing profit by giving more to the least while providing stable jobs with a no-firing policy, skills training, and wages that empower our employees and allow them to live with dignity. Because you supported us and you believe in the best of the Filipino people, not just with your heads and hearts and mouths, but with your pockets too. But one social enterprise is not enough. We need more enterprises like Human Nature who will show the world a new generation of globally competitive businesses with a heart. More enterprises paving the way for a hopeful new Philippines.
The Philippines is one of the most beautiful countries on earth. We want to keep it that way for our children to love as much as we do. Human Nature shows that businesses can have a heart for our country, a heart for the poor, and a heart for the environment.
In 3 short years, Human Nature has expanded to 23 branches all over the Philippines. These branches are run by people who are also as passionate as we are, people who are passionate about rebuilding the country through reviving agriculture and really building a Filipino brand through a natural brand of organic products. As we reach this level of awareness, we're now in a position to also help other social entrepreneurs to create their own innovative products and services.
Social entrepreneurs are the new heroes of this generation. They are the new citizens of the world who are concerned about building a safer and a kinder planet. So social entrepreneurs are the wealth creators who will use profit to benefit the most number of people, who will also use skills, technology, and also their energy to build a better planet. And recently, they opened their flagship store in Commonwealth, and that is a milestone. The former squatters are now homeowners, and now they're able to send their children to school, and parents now are working with Human Nature and really living, with pride, with dignity. And this is the face of the new Filipino, of the rising Filipino. And many more will follow their footsteps.
Wow. So from the video itself, we've seen that indeed the role of social enterprises is very important in our industry and in the Philippines, not in terms of social and environmental well-being alone. And since a number of social enterprises are also small and medium enterprises, they definitely contribute greatly to the economy and to provision of jobs to the workforce. Just by watching the video already inspires to take the path of being a social enterprise. In fact, not only are the number of social enterprises growing in the country, but globally as well. Oh, yeah, and this coat is actually made by a social enterprise known as Anthill, and this ring I have over here is created by Copperazzo. Hello, guys. Meanwhile, what I'd like you to do is to enjoy your cup of coffee, relax, and listen to the stories of our social enterprises. Our first speaker is Mr. Brian McClelland, founder and CEO of Bambike. He will be sharing the environmental side of the social enterprise. Brian is the founder and CEO of Bambike, as I mentioned earlier, a word that comes from BAMB, ecological technology. The company features handmade bamboo bicycles with fair trade labor and sustainable building practices. He developed Bambike Eco Tours, an exciting and educational ecotourism activity in the heart of Manila's all-walled city of Intramuros. Part of the tour includes guests riding the streets on bamboo bikes. Other initiatives that Bambike is involved in are Bambike rental operations and Bambike reforestation projects. So without further ado, Mr. Brian McClelland, please.
Good morning. Magandang umaga. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I guess it's really an honor to be here. I'm not sure technical. Am I starting my presentation now? If I am, cheers. I hope you all have your coffee. I'm not sure if I'm broadcasting everyone. Is this going correctly? Okay, share my screen. Okay, I guess I am on. Sorry for the technical challenge. I'll just share my entire screen. Okay, here we go. Hold on, I'm going to start you guys out with a quick video to give you a little bit of a background of Bambike. Bambike is a social enterprise that I started many years ago. It was in 2010. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey ever since. What is happening? There we go. Okay. So I'll play a quick little video first to tell you a little bit more about Bambike. I decided to create Bambike based off of my work with a community development organization called Kapihan. This was back in 2007. Bambike for me was the way in which to create a for-purpose product that could involve community and natural resource management.
Si Sir Brian, talagang matulungin siya sa Gawad Kalinga. Dito siya naganap. Isa kami sa napiling niya na pwedeng gumawa ng Bambike.
None of us had ever built a bamboo vehicle such as a bicycle before. The whole bamboo selection is a challenge in itself, and figuring out which ones to use for what part of the bike was a big challenge.
Kasi ang paggawa kasi ng bisikleta, meron siyang protocol. Hindi siya pwedeng gawing isang araw kasi isang bike, almost 1 week siya.
So first I'd like to make it clear that we don't operate as a charity. The contributions which we give to the community are really earned by the community themselves.
Malaki ang naitulong sa akin ng Bambike. Isa na rin ako sa mga bang builders na nakapagtatapos na ng anak ko na sa college.
So the evolution to do the tour happened because profitability in the beginning was a bit challenging. That was a turning point for us, wherein we had people now coming to us, paying us for test rides on our bikes.
Tangkiligin natin itong Bambike kasi tatak Pilipinas tsaka unmade siya. By the way, ako nga pala si Brother Fernandez, isa ko sa mga bomb builders.
By the way, my name is Brian Benitez McClelland, and I'm the founder of Bambike.
Okay, so that was yeah, a bit about the company, and I guess what we'll focus on is now how we've had to pivot to really be able to adapt to what is becoming the new normal, but what really we've been doing during this quarantine period, because I'll be honest, I was caught a bit off guard early March. I thought, even into the second week of March, I didn't realize fully that we were going to have to close. Our shop is based in Intramuros, and basically we had to lock down and close everything. So after the initial period of kind of shock, we decided we needed to figure out how we can contribute to the cause of fighting COVID-19. And our company decided we were going to use our bamboo bike assets to help frontliners, because the public transportation was down and frontliners had a really hard time getting from where they were staying to where they were working. And then also the discrimination and the challenges that they faced. Using any sort of transportation was very challenging. So we started to work with groups of frontliners from different hospitals. And we've been able to distribute bikes to PGH in Manila, EHRM in Quezon City, the Medical City in Pasig. We've got Bambikes out in Iloilo. And we've been bringing bikes out to other frontliners in different places so that they can use the bikes. And it's been just a small contribution from our part, not revenue generating in any way, but just something that we could do with our assets. So now the real question is, how do we pivot as a company? How do we think about the future? But I will play you a short video, which was kind of a call to action for the general public, and a video that we put out which shows some of the frontliners using the bikes. So here it goes.
Since the enhanced community quarantine in Metro Manila, our small social enterprise has been forced to close. But we have been doing what we can to help fight against the COVID-19 crisis. In order to support frontliners in their mobility challenges, we've dispersed Bambikes to hospitals in Manila, Quezon City, Pasig, and Iloilo. We have multiple requests to get more bikes out there to frontliners in need, and for this, we need your help. We've created the Rent a Bambike for Frontliners campaign, and all of the information that you need is available at www.bambike.com. Your support will help us continue and sustain our efforts to get Bambikes, which is critical mobility for frontliners, to those people who are really working for our collective public health. From the team Bambike, we really say thank you so much. Stay safe. Ingat po kayo. Bambuhay. We're very happy to have received a video made by the frontliners at PGH that have been using our Bambikes. We continue to support you and are really appreciative of this video. It really makes us happy and proud. Continue the hard work, stay safe, and please enjoy this video. thank you all for watching. Your support really helps us continue and sustain our fight against COVID-19.
Okay, so yeah, we were very happy to get feedback from the people using the bikes, and it's really helping them in their daily needs. And what we're thinking through now is, how can bikes play a part in the new normal? And if you've seen some of the news out recently, Senator Pia Cayetano is pushing through a bill that's going to help make the new normal lifestyle include biking with the Safe Pathways Act. So one of the things that I've been really hoping for is that this kind of initiative can be implemented, and that we can play a role just in terms of an advocacy standpoint of maybe helping promote for cycling, because the reality is our tourism business is not going to come back right away. And the new normal with transportation and social distancing is going to be challenging for everybody. So what he has been able to do is push this. So it's just a very short video that was put together by, I think, this website, saying how, an alternative means to travel during the corona pandemic is going to be bicycles. So by putting up bike lanes, we'll be able to facilitate that. And as a biker myself, I can really say that if there were safer bike lanes, people would really, I think, take to the streets more, because it is a very viable form of transportation. And I really hope that the new normal embraces this. So hopefully during the quarantine, we can test out some things. And what I would really love is to see, the different municipalities work together for a whole Metro Manila-wide strategy, so that it's not piecemeal, and that we maybe bring in professional consultation to really help with what the right type of infrastructure would be to best facilitate safe biking. So it's really great to see that we've got some political will pushing this forward. And I guess it gives me some sort of optimism that, we might be able to bounce back with a more inclusive mobility strategy. So I can just show you a little bit of my experience. My daily commutes involve biking from Makati to Manila. It's about, 8 kilometers. And I do it even with a bike trailer and my dog. It really is a viable form of transportation. And, I've done thousands of bike rides, and it really could be part of the new normal, even biking to Quezon City, short trips, long trips. There is a lot of opportunity for us to be able to, bounce back stronger, I hope. So with that, the last thing, I guess, that we're figuring out on how to adapt for the immediate time being is how we can operationalize our staff. We've had to pay our employees out to keep them alive, because we haven't actually been able to get any government support. So we've dispersed the cash for a prorated 13th month, and also liquidated vacation and emergency leaves for our staff, so that they've had cash throughout the pandemic and the lockdown. But moving forward, we're figuring out how can we change our business model to incorporate some of the things that are needed now, such as logistics and deliveries, and be able to use our assets and our staff to be able to contribute to the fight against COVID, and then to adapt to the new needs of society, especially in Metro Manila. So we're working to try and be a part of the Move Food initiative with Agrea and Cherry Atilano, delivering food packages to those who need them, as well as working with who knows, perhaps the Roots Collective and some of the products that they're distributing, being able to, be a part of that value chain and use our biking staff to be able to help. So we've still got a lot to figure out. We've still got to iron out some details. It'll take some trial and error, but we're trying to make the best of our situation to keep our people employed and to really just work to the collective good so that we can have a business model that supports people, planet, and progress. And for us, progress is inclusive green growth. And with that, BAMBike Eco Tours looks forward to being able to serve the greater community in the future. And we hope to collaborate with other social entrepreneurs and businesses that share the similar goals. So thank you very much for letting me share what we've been up to. And I look forward to hearing from all the other speakers.
All right, thank you very much. Now, indeed, people, planet, and progress. I love that. I was so moved as I was watching those videos, and you are definitely making or playing a role, especially in introducing this viable and inclusive mode of transportation. It is about time. For BAMBike, helping frontliners was a good pivot, and bravo to you guys again. In behalf of BAMBike, we are again calling on everyone to support getting BAMBikes to our frontliners for mobility. Now it's time to move on to our next speaker. She's the only rose among the thorns, and her name is Miss Gina Valdez, Managing Director of Numbers That Matter Inc. She will be focusing on the aspect of compliance. Gina is a certified public accountant by profession and an advocate for inclusive yet profiting businesses ever since she has been exposed to the social enterprise community in 2016. Since then, she shifted her career from corporate to social sector, working with social enterprises, NGOs, and other organizations as well, providing finance, accounting, and other back office support services together with a team at Numbers That Matter. On to you, Gina.
Hi, good morning. Good morning
Hi,
to
good morning.
everyone. Yes. Thank you for having us here, So, today we will be showing you guys a brief background about our company, Numbers That Matter, and also how we cope with the ECQ and how we're planning also to operate in our new normal. Let me just share you my screen, for a Yeah, there. So we are Numbers That Matter, and we offer business consulting and support services. Yeah, it's mentioned by Dor. I am an advocate of businesses creating impact, but those businesses should not forget the business side of the social business. Thus, looking into the numbers, and deciding from there. So what we briefly about what we do. So we are committed to making numbers matter for businesses. And with this, we mean generating relevant financial reports for businesses to be able to properly comply with regulatory requirements, and for them also to make better business decisions out of those financial reports. So basically, we offer two things. Either if you have a current finance and accounting department, then we help you transform your finance and accounting team into a more efficient team. Or if you don't have a finance and accounting department, which most micro and small enterprises don't have, actually, they don't have enough resources to actually build their own finance and accounting team, then we also offer outsourcing services. Then all these is for the generation of financial reports for compliance and better decision making. But that's not what I wanted to talk about this morning, I guess. I guess I wanted to share to you a little backstory about us. So we are a young team of both accountants and non-accountants. It's a mix of accountants and non-accountants. And we are actually nurtured and raised in Gawad Kalinga Enchanted Farm in Angat, Bulacan. So GK Enchanted Farm, for those who may not be familiar, is also is a social enterprise venture builder, and it's also a social enterprise. And we served as the finance and accounting department of GK Enchanted Farm. So by being there, being inside a social enterprise, we can say that we are actually well exposed to the challenges faced by social enterprises and by the communities that they serve, by their beneficiaries. Now, we saw how it is hard for a lot of our social enterprises to, first of all, comply with overwhelming and sometimes complicated regulatory requirements. And we also saw how hard it is for them to decide based on actual data because they don't have the proper system in place to generate those information that will be able to help them in their business, no, and will help them also in expanding their impact. No? So, being a social enterprise ourselves, we believe that these are our mandates, no? So we always aim, no, to provide accessible, affordable yet reliable consulting and support services to businesses who are aiming to do good, no, whether they call themselves social enterprises or not. As long as you're a business who wants to help, then we are working with these types of organizations. Now, it's just really it's what we can do, and it's our way of helping those who help. And at the same time, no, ever since we started, we also make it a point to train and provide remote jobs to the youth in the countryside. So most of our team are provincianos and provincianas. So this is something that resonates well with us because we wanted to be able to provide opportunities also to those who are living in far-flung areas, no, and train them, no, as long as they are willing to learn, no, whether they are accounting graduates or whether they are graduates, even because we also employ anyone who can really can really understand Microsoft Office applications and can really work on softwares. No? So this is basically what we do as a social enterprise and as a business. Um, with the pandemic in March, no, I guess all of us were caught off guard about that. And for us at Numbers That Matter, it was challenging, but somehow I feel that we are still at uh, somehow our industry is still has an advantage over other industries because even before the pandemic, almost 50% of our team are already working remotely. So there were some adjustments, but they were not really drastic adjustments for us. So our operations amidst the ECQ, this is how it looks like. The first part is really we needed to gather the team, no, and think of what we can do, no, despite the pandemic. So all of us, I guess, were uneasy during that time because we were thinking about how we can actually help our frontliners, how we can help everyone, the farmers and everyone, no. But us being back office persons, being in the business that we are, we have to start with what we have and what we can do. So what we did, we started assisting organizations, whether they are our clients or not. We assisted them in applying for subsidy programs of the government. So we collated all the requirements for CAMP, the program of DOLE, and then we also collated all the requirements for the SBWS, the program of the Department of Finance with SSS. And so we collated those requirements and shared them with our clients or non-clients, and even assisted some of them to be able to submit the necessary requirements for these subsidy programs. The second one is for our clients, for our existing clients, we try to extend a fee holiday also for them because some of them most of our clients are MSMEs, so some of them are severely affected by what's been happening. So we extended a fee holiday for those who were severely affected because anyway, the government has moved a lot of the compliance requirements in June. So basically, there are some tasks that we may not perform. So so to be fair also with our clients, we extended the fee holiday. And at the same time, for some, we also paused some engagements because of the ECQ, some of our clients have shifted their priorities. So things that they planned to do before are different now. So we have to agree with them to pause some of the engagement. And one of the small things also that we've done is we published online articles through our website and social media accounts to help entrepreneurs navigate through the regulatory issuances during the ECQ. So there were a lot of extensions of deadlines, and the government issued requirements on how to deal with COVID-19 donations so that it will be deductible in full from your taxable profit. So those are the things that we shared online. So at least in a way, we could simplify things for our entrepreneurs, and that it would be easier for them to comply, despite this situation. So that's the first chunk. No, the second one is actually looking inwards, no, into our own team. So we needed to really look after the well-being of our team. So when the pandemic started, when the World Health Organization declared that it is a pandemic, um, immediately we activated remote work for everyone. No, but then at the same time, me personally, I wanted to take my mind off the pandemic, and um, I don't want it to severely affect our operation. So during the first few weeks of the ECQ, we actually were working 100%. No, we made sure that all of our members are still busy, all of our members are still productive, and that all of them will actually adapt immediately to the remote work, because apparently that would be our new normal even after the community quarantine. Now, so for some weeks we operated normally, we operated remotely, to try how that would all work, and so far we are good. We were able to do that, and then eventually, we then reduced the work hours of our team to allow rest. But of course, we ensured that our team would be given their basic necessities, no, that they will still receive a salary that will cover for what they need during the ECQ. And we reduced the working hours for them to rest for a while also, and then reconnect, to reconnect with themselves, with their families, reconnect spiritually, and to basically take care of their well-being. So, given this, as we move to the new normal, we the basic uh, premise in our minds right now actually is, in the new normal, it is now more on helping each other survive as businesses. Now, I guess, especially in 2020, your plans of tripling perhaps your revenue, or your plans of increasing your profit and all, I guess that will have to be taken aside for a while, and um, just focus on helping each other survive. No? So on our end, what we are coming up right now would be offering what we can and offering what we have. No, so we want to offer pro bono online trainings. Now I know there are already a lot out there, but because of our practical experience being with social enterprises, we know that um, it has to be practical. No, what you teach has to be practical. Practical. It's something that can be applied in a real life. No, given the situation of social enterprises. So that is what we want to share. No, we want to share how we do it practically. No, so in the new normal, micro and small businesses, most especially, will really have to allot their resources on other things. Um, so maybe outsourcing and paying consultants will not be a good idea for them. So this is what we want to offer, to allow them to free up some of their resources and actually empower them and train them on how to do it on their own, because we feel that it's something that can be done. No. Secondly, we are also in the process of recontracting with our clients. So we already have engagement letters with our clients, monthly retainers, and all. No, and because of what's happening, it's no the services that they're offering, no, the how they do their operations also has changed. So we also have to adapt to that. So we will be recontracting with our clients to ensure that the services that we will offer is actually helping them in their new normal. And then third, of course, is because we also need to survive as a business, so we can't offer everything for free. So what we're doing also right now is offering support, no, to clients for them to transition also their team to a remote and online system, just like what we did for our team. So these are just a few things. No, I guess there are a lot of things that can be done, and there are a lot of collaborations that can be worked on along the way. No, maybe we're here to say also that it's something that we are open to do, you know, with social enterprise. I think there are a lot of innovative solutions that we can come up to at this time. No, that maybe we can even accept vegetables as payment for services. Who knows, right? So um, that's it. It's short presentation. So if you want to know more about us, this is our contact information. And by the way, we also do free consultations. So if you have any questions regarding finance and accounting that you want to clarify or get clarified on, you may email us at consult@numbers-that-matter-ph.com or visit us at our Facebook and Instagram page. Just send a message at Numbers That Matter PH. That's it. Thanks, Dor.
Okay, thank you very much. So, in spite of being a social enterprise, from Gina's presentation, we know that financial reporting and monitoring, as well as compliance, are important not just for businesses in general, but also for social enterprises as well to know their impact. What's good about Numbers That Matter is that they value their team and their customers as well. How do they do this? By giving salaries for their staff and even fee holidays for clients. And definitely, these are much needed, especially during this period. Let's now move on to our next speaker. His name is Mr. Dexter Yu, founder and marketing officer of Roots Collective. He will be focusing on collaboration. So Dexter is a member of Roots management team, handling its digital marketing campaigns and also the brand's social media accounts and its newly launched website. He's very much immersed in the startup scene, experience in the fields of marketing and finance. He helps provide a holistic look in experiential decision making. On to you, Dexter.
Hello. I'm not a founder, but I'm the marketing officer of Roots. I'm here to talk about what we have done, how COVID has made us pivot, as well as what we are currently doing to ensure um, that we will survive. So let me look for a slide. Okay. Okay. So here's my presentation. So the Roots Collective is a community of entrepreneurs working together to contribute to inclusive development and sustainable livelihood in the Philippines. So we nurture an ecosystem that will continuously generate successions of creative and innovative young entrepreneurs. Um, so for Roots, we serve mostly as a way to help with marketing um, and distribution and retail for many social enterprises, since marketing and retail is something which isn't readily accessible for everyone, especially those who are from um, the provinces or areas that don't have much market access. So our stakeholders, we're going to talk about mostly our employees and merchants. So what we have to do is for employees, we have to give decent jobs and opportunities as well as skills by empowering them with technology and teaching them how to properly engage with customers as well as management, and also exposure to entrepreneurship, so that in the future, if they choose to go into social entrepreneurship, they have some knowledge. For merchants, it's free for distribution and retail. It's for capacity building and collaboration. and for network building. So challenges that happened for employees, it's really lost job security because as a retail store that operated in Uptown Bonifacio and Marikina, um, COVID forced us to shut down operations. It also challenged us and our employees to adapt to a more digital interface. So as for our merchants, many businesses are at hold. Some no longer produce because of strict guidelines from the lockdown. Much of our inventory is actually also locked up in our warehouse in Marikina, as well as Uptown Bonifacio, where we had our pop-up. The same time, logistics is limited because um, only much of the ride-sharing apps are booked, so we have quite a difficulty in distributing sometimes. Yeah, and yeah, sales channels are closed. So as for strategy and direction, before COVID happened, we were focused on trying to market by having pop-ups. Our retail outlets were expanding, as well as in our newly opened branch in Marikina. Human resources, we had quite a lot of employees, quite a lot of part-time employees who actually came from Chaalai's partner community. For products, we focus mostly on brands with existing following. Those are the most sellable products. And we focused on corporate gifting as a strategy in 2020. But because of COVID-19, we're forced to move towards um, the digital platforms such as websites. We activate through social media and messaging apps such as Viber. As for human resources, um, they have to shrink because it's no longer sustainable in our part. We don't have the sales to keep the entire team. Um, Product focus, we focus mostly on cleaning and home care, and we really targeted audiences when we advertise now through social media. So the pivot came from two um, trends that we noticed during the entire COVID pandemic, which was forced digitalization and localization. So now everyone who has a smartphone accesses their necessities and cleaning stuff online. In many cases, you buy through Shopee, you buy through your community's Viber. And those who were skeptical of like um, e-wallets now use them also. And at the same time, since supply chains are very much compromised, they're concentrated in our communities. And we focus mostly on, um, yeah, people now know their community a lot better. And we're trying to take uses to our advantage by being active in our own community Viber groups, selling our partners' products there. So we have these initiatives. For our employees, we had a donation drive. Um, we had a donation drive, and part of our sales now go to our employees. As for our merchants, we have gone online. We had a project for the longest time. We wanted to have a website, but we weren't really um, pursuing it as much as we were supposed to. But because of COVID, that's where we full all went. We rushed the website and we released it in the middle of the pandemic. And it helps sales right now. At least we have some sales. Um, we also promote quite aggressively online through targeted advertising, so our merchants will have sales. So these are some of our posters. We had a donation drive. For the donation, it's not updated. It's much higher now. Then as for we also sell PPEs like this. It's by Gouache actually, but we're selling in their behalf. And part of the sales would go to um, our merchants. For no, well, a part of our sales will go to our employees. As for our merchants, we were aggressively campaigning through social media. The first one is a post. The second one there is actually our website launch poster. Um, Same thing goes for Instagram. We made product catalogs for our merchants. And we try to pair um, the items which work well hand in hand. So thank you very much. Since you guys are here, you might as well check our website. It's www.rootscollective.ph, and we're giving you guys a discount code. Review us online. There's a on the upper right hand corner. You could just picture the QR code, and it'll lead you directly to our website. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dexter, Marketing Officer of Roots. Congratulations, by the way, for launching your website. I'm myself am a fan of their retail pop-ups and I buy a lot of things from there. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of you and a lot of viewers are learning about aggressive online efforts by none other than Mr. Dexter Yu. And there are a lot of products of communities that are being displayed in their pop-ups. And now, through their retail expertise and initiatives, it shows the spirit of collaboration. But at the same time, they made sure to take care of their employees. So that's something really great about them. And of course, last but not the least, we have Mr. Rafael Jonicio, founder of MAD, Make a Difference Travel, and he will be talking about sustainability among other things. Rafi is a co-founder of MAD Travel, founded in 2015. His initiatives include market online retail and online education, which just started this 2020. He also co-founded the Circle Hostel in 2011, another social enterprise engaged in various businesses and key industries. Rafi is not only renowned in business, but has been recognized as well. One prominent award is the 10 Accomplished Youth Organization or Tayo Awards winner in 2018, awarded to Rafi for both Mad Travel and Circle Hostel. He's also very much engaged in speaking workshops, primarily on sustainability. In fact, in 2019, he spoke in TED Time and J&J's Reforestation and Plastic Waste. On to you, Rafi.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Dor, thank you for having me here, and hope you guys have some good coffee. It's a really new world, no? And I guess one thing that I'd wanted to share with everybody today is just, I guess, a change in perspective, no? And trying to learn from the history that we have, right? And so, what I'd like to talk to you guys about today is, rather than just kind of tell you what we're doing, I wanted to contextualize many things because I think that sustainability escapes us because sustainability really is about context. It's a big concept. And so I want to break it down and kind of show you guys some examples of what I see of how the world will change and, in effect, how we're trying to work through that kind of world. No? So here, I'm going to put on the slides now. All right. 1 second. There we go. Dora, just want to check. Is it? Can everybody see it? Yeah. So I'm involved in quite a lot of things now, but basically there's travel, there's plastic, there's construction, right? But I'm really very passionate about sustainability. Not just about the environment, but us as people. No? So people, planet, profit, which is the same as what Brian was talking about earlier. And today, we're really challenged. It's like the world rolled the dice. And so we've got a clean slate, not really clean, but a chance to make things better just because things are no longer the same as before. No? So, one of the things that I wanted to share with you was about plastic waste. No, it's still an enemy there, right? It still exists. And in terms of sustainability, it's one of the main things that's going to, it's not, prior to the pandemic, we thought plastic might have been the most urgent of challenges, along with other waste we throw into the water. But now the pandemic has taken precedence over that. But once we get our vaccine and life and people start to interact a little more, this is still a problem. And we've still got microplastics found in 90% of bottled water, right? And this short video, I'm not sure if I can play it. It won't play, but anyway, this image shows that you actually find a lot of plastic in the bellies of fish, and that really is a problem. No? The other massive challenge that we have as people, right, is deforestation, right? And recently we hit an all-time hotness of I think it was 56 degrees Celsius in Mindoro, right? And that's really hot, right? So we have to be able to understand why, right? And one of the big reasons is because from year 1900 all the way to 2016 and today, we've lost most of our forest, right? And you can see in this image that it gets significantly cooler when things are under the shade, right? The ground below the road is 66 degrees Celsius at the bottom, and it's 33 degrees on the top, right? That's why we all like to park in the shade, wait in the shade, have our picnics in the shade, right? And just borrowing from some of the presentations from the US, right? This is a chart of the summer temperatures between 1950 to 1980. So this is our parents' generation, right? This was their curve, their norm. But our norm is very different. You see that we've moved away and there are more red zones, right? Where it's warmer than average or extremely hot. And so the world's really getting warmer, right? You can debate on what causes it, but definitely it's getting warmer. And it's also connected to our story of water, which is again another challenge in sustainability. I mean, not every, maybe in the city, if you have good plumbing, we take it for granted we have water. But last year we came very close to running out of water in the Philippines, at least in Manila, right? Angat Dam was at the all-time low. This year, we're lucky because the rains are starting early. It's mid-May and it's already raining. And so I think that's we're very lucky that it's recharging now. But just to share, these are two rivers in Mindanao, right? And over the last 30 years, the National Irrigation Authority has seen a 75% decline in river water. That's really disturbing, 75% decline. Because if you don't have a lot of water, what happens? No? It starts to affect many people, right? And this is where it ends up in our food security issue, which now, because of the coronavirus, has become magnified, right? You're looking at maybe some people aren't eating, some farmers have produce that aren't bought, right? Some people are worried there aren't enough seeds going around, but drought is a part of it, no? And it's usually 8 billion pesos worth of damage whenever we get drought. And mind you, it's a regular thing. I checked the data. We have an El Nino phenomenon every 7 years or so. So we should know this. This is since the 1960s, right? And the flip side of El Nino is La Nina, where you get floods. This is every year, right? And somehow we have not understood the root cause of our flooding. We just always say, oh, this flood, prepare, right? So we prepare donation drives, we prepare evacuation centers, but have we ever tried to attack the root of the problem, right? And it's not just drainages, and it's not just trash, right? Every tree we plant can grow up to can absorb up to 2,000 liters of water. So if you want to just flood-proof your area, just plant a lot of trees in the mountainside. However, we've kind of we haven't done that, right? The last, I would say, 5-6 administrations have not been very successful at increasing the forest cover to an acceptable level for the country. Definitely lacking, for one reason or the other. And I can't. Again, it just hits food security because for farms, right, it's either there's too little water or there's too much water, right? And this is something that we have to look at. The agriculture sector is very interesting because it's got a lot of things that need solving. There's credit issues, like farmers don't have enough cash, and if they have to borrow, it's at 80% per year. That's crazy, right? Maybe more. Sometimes they don't have the right seeds. Sometimes they don't know organic agriculture or the most productive ways to do it. Sometimes they don't have machines, right? Things that can be addressed, right? Sometimes there's a monopoly or there's no buyer. So poor farmer has nothing to sell or has to sell something. But it's definitely an issue that we see, and they're all connected, right? Because the water, the forest, the water, it all flows into agriculture. And without food on land, we've also got a food problem in the sea because plastics basically killing all the fish, right? And it's poisoning a lot of our food. And then something I wanted to share with you guys, prior to the pandemic, the world was on track to double the sizes of cities by 2050, right? And I can say, I'm pretty confident in saying that the way the world was building was not sustainable, right? There were pockets of sustainability, but they were pockets, right? It's never hit in a massive scale, and it has to change. Definitely now it has to, because of social distancing, which will probably be here for a very long time. And when you look at the construction industry, these are the materials that we build with. No? When you build your home, build the cities. I mean, you see it around Manila and around the whole country or the whole world. No? Concrete, steel, wood, insulation, some carpet, some gypsum. And one thing that stands out here to me is that there really is only one renewable material in this set of 6 very commonly used items, and that's wood, right? Concrete, steel, this gypsum, insulation, carpet. Many of these are come from mined materials, meaning you have to like dig up the ground, mountain. Wood's the only renewable one, and yet we're not investing in it, right? And so I'm looking at the world, and I'm like wondering why doesn't every government understand that to have wood reserves is probably one of the best ways to be sustainable, keep a lot of money, and let's be practical. Wood never goes out of fashion. People like that warm feel, and so for us as Mad Travel Circle Hosta, we've tried doing our own reforestation because we see how it's critical to a number of industries, right? This is a photo in 2016 where we started planting with Chieftain Erese. This is 2019, a couple of years later. I haven't had the chance to go back yet this summer because of coronavirus now, but safe to say, there's a carbon benefit, there's a water benefit, a temperature reduction benefit. No? And a lot of bees are coming out right now. No? Speaking of which, we're also selling honey now as part of our pivot. Right? And you see here, we brought the thermometer. The heat can be addressed by technology that's right in front of us, planting trees. No? And it's something that everybody can do during this pandemic, right? I've seen Brian plant a lot of mango trees, and he's been very good at showing the growth. And I hope more people do the same because it's a no-brainer. Let's be productive during this time. I mean, productivity is not just about economic money, which is all the media reports. Productivity is also about how are we fighting back for our environment, and because of that, for our own quality of life, right? How many areas can we shade? How much water can we absorb more now because of which things we're growing and planting, right? One of the things we did very quickly after the pandemic was to launch a campaign where people could hire the ITAs to buy trees, and they get several prizes from us depending on how much they earn. And we're happy to report we're planting about 8,000 trees today. Below are pictures of some of the seedlings growing, just submitted to me last week from our team in Zambales. And so we're paying the ITAs there, But it's definitely something. It's a short-term solution, right? And we have to find better ways to address this, because we can't bring people to them. However, they do have some pretty cool products, right? And that's part of our next solution. We understand that all the communities we've worked with have different products, and so we set up Make a Difference Market, where we take a look at items from SMEs or small businesses, farmers, indigent groups, and we try to sell them, focused mainly on fruits, vegetables, and of course forest honey, which is now something that we have a lot of. No? We've also moved into online education, coming from the insight that people still need to learn, and the world today has to learn better. Right? There's no excuse for us anymore not to understand how we as humanity affect the environment, because it's literally on display now. The way that carbon emissions have plummeted, or let's say waterways are cleaner because we're not producing as much, and like there were dolphins in Venice. Different beaches have lots of turtles now because nobody's disturbing the beach. Nature is taking its time to regenerate, right, and to catch up. No, and so we're looking at I just want to summarize here some of the challenges we have today in terms of sustainability. They're all connected. There's a plastic problem that's killing our fish. There's a deforestation problem. It's making it hotter. We're not able to renew our building materials. There's a water issue connected to the lack of trees, right? And then it's also connected to the agriculture issue, right? So and construction should benefit from a sustainable forestry issue. And then healthcare also, right? Coronavirus, the origin stories claim that it comes from animals. I clarified with some doctors, and well, they're not sure if it's really man-made. It's laboratory released, right? But what we can be sure of is that all the corona strains come from different animals, and so whether man unleashed it willingly or accidentally in the fish in the wet market doesn't matter. Definitely, man meddled in something, and we weren't. Now we're paying the price, right? And so, the common factor of all these problems really is us. And I think that it's a time for us to take a step back and to take a look at like what do we change moving forward, right? I know we're grasping at what will change in a job or what will be the same in a job, right? But we also have to understand how do we consume. It has to change now, no? Because there are growing inequalities, and we've seen that, right? I mean, we've seen poor communities not have enough access to food, and then they're situated. These slums are right beside rich communities, and so it becomes somebody might steal from someone, not because they want to, but because they have to eat, right? And there's really a lack of understanding that I see is very present, right? Being a tour guide for schools, like it's amazing. A lot of students don't see it, and it's not taught in school, and neither did I learn it along the way. To think that I was lucky enough to go to one of the top schools in Ateneo, but the context, right, wasn't there, and these things we have to be rooted better to the ground. No? So that's why I like Roots as name. We have to understand better, connect to the environment, connect to the land, connect to people around us. This past pandemic, I've met so many of my neighbors because we're doing door-to-door deliveries in Quezon City, which is by the way, no minimum order, no delivery charge. No. And interesting enough is that I realized, wow, there's just so many cool people in my neighborhood, and I never got the chance to talk to them, right? And I guess it's a call that we really have to band together, because with this coronavirus, the weakest, you can't have a weakest link if not everybody gets affected, right? So we have to invest in these relationships with each other locally, right? I mean, hyper local, like your building, your village, your neighborhood, your townhouse. You gotta know each other's names. There's no excuse, right? And I think that There's a lot of innovation that's going to happen in the education sector, something more holistic. 'Cause we really need to. If we don't, we that means we didn't learn, and we're still using money um, as the main driver for our economy, which I feel should not. Money should not lead us. It should. We should be able to harness it, not the other way around. Though. And so you need really education for heart, mind, and hands. It's about action, right? And I guess just to close, no, one thing I see that people are looking for are people of example, people they can look up to. I know I look for them, and I was very blessed to have met several men and women who are really exemplars of different values that I'd like to push out, no, like caring for others. People in Gawad Kalinga, a lot of them, oh my gosh, hands down, no? Or people respecting culture, indigenous values, the environment from Hiniliban Foundation. That was very strong lesson, no? But yeah, generally these days it's a lot of talk, but not backed up with enough action. So I think that we have to take our role as stewards of this world more seriously, right? And whether you're religious or not, that is the reality. Uh, Humanity is, technically the top of the food chain, but we're at the brink of wiping ourselves out, and so we have to really take a look and see what can be done. And I guess it's especially a call out for those with education, for those with resources, for those with influence. You're part of this solution that we have to check. It's not going to come from one savior. It's going to come from each and every one of us, one person at a time, one action at a time. No? So with that, thanks, guys. I hope you picked up something from I guess from the stories and the presentation that I was able to share.
All right. Thank you very much, Rafi. I'd like to highlight what you said on productivity. So these are how are we fighting back for an environment and the quality of life? So I think this is what everyone should be contemplating on. And thank you for also highlighting the SDGs in your efforts. As an educator myself, I agree that there will be a lot of innovations in education that must be harnessed and acted upon. Your thoughts on food security, water issues, and deforestation are definitely of great concern. And thanks to people like you, there's someone attending to these. Because if not, who else? Truly an expert on sustainability. Now, before we proceed to our Q&A, we have another surprise from you from Mr. Panya Bunsiritum, founder of City Hub. Please watch this. Okay, thank you. So um, now I guess it's time to proceed to our question and answer portion. We have a bunch of questions, and I'll be calling on each one depending on the question. I think let's start with Brian. So, Brian, um, first question is, do you ship bikes overseas?
We do. So BAM bikes are made locally. The frames are built in Victoria, Tarlac. We assemble them in Makati, and then we can do global door-to-door shipping.
Oh, great. And by the way, more power to you from one of our viewers. Now, another question is, how do you think cycling can be a new normal if the Philippines does not have any bike lanes?
Well, so we do have some bike lanes in various areas, but it's definitely not enough. So what is being pushed now through, um, the with the laws and with the help of Senator Pia Cayetano, it's pushing for safe pathways. And that means putting in dedicated bike lanes. So it really is an infrastructure issue. Most people don't bike because they don't feel safe. So by addressing that with bike lanes, hopefully people will begin to do it. So that's what I'm really crossing my fingers for, in that at least within Metro Manila, at least if temporarily, we can implement more bike lanes. And if we then use them and see that actually biking is a viable form of transportation and more people use them, that they can be made permanent, because our infrastructure is really designed for private cars. And as you can see, that affects the poor and those who don't have their own vehicles a lot more than those who have private cars. So let's all hope for the best. And if anyone needs a bike, we're happy to help. And yeah, we really are gonna try and push for the Bayanihan sa Daan and share the road movement.
All right. Thank you. That actually answered the last question, because there are others who want to buy your BAM bike and they think it looks really, really nice. They're just curious about the price, however. So I'm not sure if that's something you'd like to answer right now.
Sure. Well, most of our information is on bambike.com. We have a shop there with our various products and bike models and prices. We do also, at least in the Philippines, we can sell some of our slightly used bikes at a discount. So some of our BAM Bike Eco Tours fleet can be sold. And then we also do custom builds. And then actually the thing that I've been using mostly is an electric bamboo bike. So on our YouTube channel, the BAM Bike TV YouTube channel, we've got a few videos, and one has kind of an introduction to our electric bike. And I think that e-bikes have really the potential to become a mainstay in urban transportation, because I literally use it every day I'm in the city, and you don't get so hot and sweaty. You're not so worried about how far you might need to go. And it's really the quickest way to get around. So increasingly, we will be building more electric bikes, and those are available as well for custom orders.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Now, our next set of questions are for Dexter. So, Dexter, the question is, what is the first step in digital interfacing?
I think the first step is really through social media, because first of all, that's free. Second of all, it's readily accessible to almost everyone. I mean, almost everyone has Facebook, and lots of people have Instagram. So I think that's the first step.
Okay. And then you mentioned that it's free, right? But as you go along, is this going to be costly, especially for small entrepreneurs?
Okay, relative to other advertising techniques, social media is relatively cheap because it's very much targeted towards a um somewhat captive audience that you can target. You can choose who you want to target as an audience. So, and there's different price ranges. You could create an ad for as little as like 50 pesos a day and then you'll already get some results. Syempre, if you want to have more sales, you have to increase your ad budget.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. And then what tips can you give small entrepreneurs who really don't know how to start because they don't have any page. All they have is their personal account. Should this be separate?
Hmm. I think what yeah, I think it's better if they're to first sell through their own account. Afterwards, they will make their own page. You could sell first through Facebook Marketplace using your own account so that people will know that this it's you who is the seller. After a while, when you get a bit bigger, maybe that's when you could start having the page. And once you have enough cash and if you want to expand more, that's when you could go into having a website, an online store. Yeah.
All right.
I'm also
And then, yeah, go ahead.
also want to mention that you have to be creative. Like it's great also for you to be active on Viber. What we learned is that
Mm.
because of social distancing, everyone's super active with their local communities. You could sell through Viber, and it does a great job in bringing your message out to a market that wants to buy something already. So yeah.
Okay. And how can they be part of your community?
You can email us at the Roots Collective PH at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com. Or you can check our website out if you want to first see. It's www.rootscollective.ph, and at the bottom there's a yeah, and you can check us out. If you want to contact us, feel free to message our Facebook page or Instagram or email us.
Okay, thank you. And these next questions go to Rafael. So the first question is, what is your opinion on the tourism industry?
Oh, interesting question. Being part of the tourism industry as well.
Yes.
It has to improve a lot. It's also the worst hit, right? And you will have people from different, I guess, perspectives. Some will say, poor us because we're hit hardest. But some will also say, some sustainability practitioners say, well, you see now how like we can environmentally regenerate without all the travel.
Yeah.
Um, I think I don't think tourism is a bad thing because it can bring with it a lot of other benefits, right? But it has to be done properly. I think integrating Brian's ideas into tourism definitely is a must. You have to
Mm.
build more things with bamboo. More electric things have to come online. We have to take a look at how we do energy, and definitely don't get into tourism business if you're going to trash the place, right? Um,
Yeah.
we've been in the hostel business since 2011, 2012, and I've seen parts of San Felipe progressively get dirtier because we have irresponsible guests, or right, or maybe our neighbors aren't taking the policies seriously. But either way, like what's going to happen with the tourism industry is that it'll be more expensive, margins are going to go down, and it's going to be a privilege to travel again. It's not the same mass model. And because it's
Mm.
a privilege to travel, I think
Mm.
people need to have, apart from the safety distance, I would say that we have to implement somehow them going to class saying you can't travel if you throw trash or something, you lose your privilege to travel
Mm.
because you're not supposed to destroy others. If you disrespect others, if you steal, like we have to be very, very. The law has to kind of take that into consideration, knowing that as a nation, we follow our emotions more, right? And many
Yeah.
times it's easy to say that Filipinos are undisciplined, no? And so we need a legal structure that'll work, especially now that there's a new legal structure coming into tourism. We might as well ride on it and just make it right.
All right. And you mentioned agri industries. Do you think that for startups who are thinking to get into a new business or pivot their operations, is this a good industry to enter?
Uh, there are several industries that are good to enter, but agriculture per se needs a lot of help, and it needs more help, right? Department of Agriculture, is having a tough time, and it's not just the government's responsibility um, to do something about it, right? Everyone is involved in agriculture because we eat every day. So if you're, it's very simple. If you're buying something imported that has a local alternative, please consider the local alternative. Maybe buy half more, half the volume, buy more local and less foreign, because you just want the money to go around, right? And then when you're buying, then you just have to pick who's the seller who will probably give you the best value for money, plus give the farmer, the grower, the small guys the best value for money, because that's really the story here. We have to support people who support sustainability and inclusivity. We have to count more than just money here. We have to think a little more.
Okay, thank you very much. And these last questions, of course, would go to Gina. Gina, shout out because a lot are encouraged by numbers that matter. Tending to the back end is often thankless, so bless you. And moving on to the questions, how is accounting different in terms of business, a regular business, and that of social enterprises?
Hmm. Well, there are actually a lot of similarities. No, the only difference I think is um, maybe the dynamics of the people inside the organization. No, because social enterprises have a different mindset. No, compared to regular businesses. No, I came from a corporate world, so I can see the difference. No, in terms of the people working in social enterprises. So that actually affects your back office. No, the people inside the company. So I could say it's actually easier to work with social enterprises in a way, no, because they are really focused on their goals. So they will fix whatever it is that they need to fix, and they cooperate well with us, to be able to to get to that financial reports that they want.
Okay. And there are some who are interested to avail of your training services. Are these also available in Manila?
We are actually planning to have online training, so it's available anywhere. No, so we don't have yet schedules for it, but still working on the modules that we really think is practical and that we think will be helpful to entrepreneurs, especially micro and small enterprises.
All right. So in that case, can SMEs also outsource you? Will the pricing be different?
SMEs, yeah. Our target has always been any organization who aim to do good. No? So if you're planning to evade tax, let's not talk. But if you're planning you're a good organization and if you're helping other people, then you can always negotiate on the price. No, I mean, like what I said earlier, we're very much open to collaboration, especially at these trying times. No, so what we want is to just help each other. No.
All right. And this last question goes to everyone. So the question is it more fulfilling to be a social enterprise? We can start with Brian.
I think so. I mean, I've never gone into a traditional corporate route career, but for me, it was always a decision to create something of value and a business that was for purpose, that really created a meaningful livelihood for myself and others. So, in that sense, I feel very fulfilled. While I might not necessarily have the same financial returns as working for some big international company, that is really less important to me than having a great work-life balance and contributing to the development of a bamboo and ecotourism industry in the country, and feeling, tangible impact with the people that we touch. So it's not about shareholders maximizing profit. It's about working with stakeholders and ensuring that everybody involved benefits. So again, it's back to people, planet, progress. And for that, being a social entrepreneur for me has been a really great experience, and it is more meaningful in that sense.
All right, thank you. Gina?
Yeah, I'll just echo, I think, what Brian said. No, being a social entrepreneur is purposeful. No, you work, you go to work because you know that you are actually helping stakeholders, you're helping beneficiaries, or in our case, we are helping enterprises who help. No, so that is a better way of living your daily life.
Okay, and Dexter? I think Dexter's not here. How about Rafi?
Uh, I agree with them. It's definitely more purposeful. I think it's also harder, and I'm yeah, I bet they'll all agree. It's you take a circuitous route towards success, but I think everyone in this room is determined to show that it can be profitable as well, because many times parents. I remember I was a tour guide at Enchanted Farm, and then I saw my friend's mom, who was a VP at BDO. She comes over and she's like, "Oh, what you're doing is great. Yeah, more people have to do that." And then her next question was, "So how much are you making here?" Right? And I mean, the reality is that when parents foot the bill for the education of their kids, they want to make sure that their kids go to something that pays, right? And so it's really stuck in my mind that we all have to be mindful that we also have to create. While I think there is a way to temper the how people spend, there we still have to get to a certain quality. And I think human nature. You showed the video earlier. Dylan and Anna are doing a spectacular job leading the way in that regard. So I hope that we all get to that level as well.
All right, and Dexter, I think, is back. So the question is it more fulfilling to be a
Hi,
social
I'm back.
enterprise? Yeah, hi. So what's your answer to that question? Is it more fulfilling to be a social enterprise?
Yeah, I think it's more fulfilling enterprise because you know you're helping people. At the same time, uh, it's fulfilling because you get to hear other stories from other businesses. As a collaborative enterprise, we really get to know not just the owners, but we end up also knowing their communities and their other stakeholders. Uh, we know that uh, not all social enterprises may not have it easy right now because of the quarantine and the lockdown. But we know that as an SME, we contribute a lot to the Philippine economy, contribute lots of jobs and livelihoods. So it's very fulfilling.
All right, thank you. So everyone, our time's up, but it's not going to be a goodbye because our new gen social enterprises can be contacted via social media. Before we part ways, I'd like to call on all speakers to give their parting words as we end. Brian?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for organizing this. It's been a pleasure to share our story. And for anyone who's interested on Instagram, I'm Bam Brian, and all of our Bam Bike social media is just that. So Bam Bike on Facebook, Instagram, and bambike.com. We'd be happy to explore any collaborations, and we look forward to riding into the future for a sustainable new normal.
Okay. Gina?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dor, for having us. No, we don't usually do this.
Thank you.
But thank you for allowing us to share what we do at Numbers That Matter. So, again, if there are businesses out there and if you want to have a quick consultation, you can always email us or you can always send us a message. Don't worry, it's free. Just send us a message. No, and then I guess um, uh, for all businesses, whether you're a social enterprise or not, no, start with what you have and what you can do, and let's just focus. The new normal. Let's just focus on helping each other survive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dexter?
I wanted to just thank everyone for organizing this activity and to all the people who are listening right now. I just want to remind everyone that try to support local during these times. Try to support SMEs because they're the backbone of our economy. And if you support them, you're probably making a much bigger difference than supporting, example, a foreign brand. We are you can access us through our website www.rootscollective.ph. You can check our Facebook and Instagram, Roots Collective. Uh, if you uh, if you want to partner with us, feel free to DM us. Send us a DM.
Okay, and last but not the least, Ravi? Is Rafi here?
Whoops, mute.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's
How many times
okay.
has that happened? But thank
Perfectly
you,
fine.
everyone, for listening. And I'd love to hear feedback if you guys have ideas on what else we should be doing and talking about. We are. If you guys want some fruits and vegetables, coffee or honey, please let us know. On Facebook, we are Mad Market PH, and on Instagram, it's Make a Difference Market. Just message us, or you can also message me directly. My Instagram handle is Raf Janicio, and on Facebook, it's the same.
All right. So again, this has been Dorleen Dimaunahan, your moderator and social enterprise advocate. Thanking everyone for joining our Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions. So everyone, let's cheers to a cup of coffee to keep you warm.
Cheers.
Yeah, this rainy
Cheers.
season. And cheers to everyone. Goodbye.
Cheers.
We would like to thank everyone who joined our Kapihan and Kwentuhan sessions with social enterprises. We would like to thank our media partner, V81 Radio Worldwide, and our program partner, Talk Shop Asia, the Philippine Retailing Industries Program and Communities on Business Exchanges. You can download their apps via the App Store or Google Play. Once again, to all business owners, fellow social enterprises, communities, and organizations, we hope that we have inspired you today. Let us collaborate and plan for sustainability towards the new normal.
Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy. The future of radio. This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Radio.